Here's what you need to know. Want to get this briefing by email? Here's the sign up. Good morning. We start today with the worldwide grounding of the Boeing 737 MAX 8, a vote in the British Parliament today on whether to delay Brexit, and the shooting death of the reputed leader of a New York crime family. Breaking: Beto O'Rourke, the former Texas congressman whose close loss in a Senate race last year propelled him to Democratic stardom, announced today that he is running for president. Air travelers should be prepared for further delays today. President Trump grounded all Boeing 737 MAX 8 and MAX 9 aircraft, reversing a decision by aviation regulators after a deadly crash in Ethiopia. Here are the latest updates. The decision by the US and Canada, two of the last countries to ground the jets, came after satellite tracking data suggested similarities between the crash on Sunday and another involving a Boeing 737 MAX 8 in October. What's next? The short-term costs for Boeing are most likely manageable, but the bigger question is whether airlines will lose confidence in the aerospace giant's best-selling jet. Q&A: passengers who were to fly on the Boeing aircraft with U.S. carriers will be rebooked or scheduled on different planes. Here's more information. The fallout from the college admissions scandal announced by federal prosecutors has exposed an array of corrupt and illegal practices. But it has also shed light on perfectly legal ways to game the admissions process. Is that unfair? That the privileged can pay? Asked the managing director of an admissions consulting company in New York. Yes. But that's how the world works. The details: the scandal involved lies about sports accomplishments that should have been simple to detect had anyone bothered to look. We have a list of everyone who has been charged. Another angle: for students of color, the case was a reminder of deep inequalities in admissions. The Daily. In today's episode, two of our reporters discuss the scandal. Lawmakers want a plan to withdraw Britain from the European Union, but not the one offered by Prime Minister Theresa May. After twice rejecting Mrs May's Brexit proposal, Parliament on Wednesday voted to oppose the prospect of a disorderly, no-deal exit from the bloc. What's next? Lawmakers are scheduled to vote today on whether to postpone the March 29 deadline for withdrawal. If they support an extension, Mrs May would have to seek permission to delay Brexit from European Union leaders. We'll have live coverage. Go deeper: with the arrival of American-style political gridlock, Britain has seen the authority of its prime minister diminish to a point not seen in recent history. Catch up: the maneuvering made clear that nearly 3 years after Britain's voted to leave the European Union, the nation's political system is splintering and there is no consensus on how to move ahead even as the critical deadline approaches, our correspondent in London writes. Here's a quick guide to what's going on. A federal judge on Wednesday nearly doubled the prison sentence of President Trump's former campaign chairman to 7.5 years, saying that he spent a significant portion of his career gaming the system. In sentencing Mr. Manafort on 2 conspiracy counts, Judge Amy Berman Jackson of U.S. District Court in Washington closed out the highest-profile prosecution brought by the special counsel, Robert Mueller. Mr. Manafort, 69, received a 47-month sentence in a related case last week. Related, prosecutors in New York have charged Mr. Manafort with mortgage fraud and more than a dozen other state felonies. The charges are part of an effort to ensure Mr. Manafort will face prison time even if President Trump pardons him for his federal crimes. On September 15, 1942, a volley of Japanese torpedoes in the Pacific sank an American aircraft carrier, the USS Wasp. For decades, the families of those aboard could only wonder where the wreckage had landed. It took a billionaire backer, an epic hunt and a flash of insight to arrive at "there she is" Facebook investigation. Federal prosecutors are conducting a criminal inquiry into deals that gave major tech companies broad access to users' information. Separately, the social media company's 3 main services, Facebook, Instagram and WhatsApp, went down intermittently around the world on Wednesday. Presidential rebukes: the Senate is likely to vote today to overturn President Trump's declaration of a national emergency to build a border wall. On Wednesday, lawmakers voted for a second time to end American military assistance for Saudi Arabia's war in Yemen and to curtail presidential war powers.